Just gonna chill a bit tonight. I think tomorrow I might get back into Pocket Mirror for a little bit, but just gonna chill tonight because I'm in the middle of making dinner too. If anyone wants to say hi though, I'll try to keep an eye on the chat from time to time. Yeah, making dinner for my kiddo and my boyfriend and his parents. Sugared up some sliced up strawberries and peaches too. From some pound cake later for dessert. Not that I need dessert. I'm sure someone would love to remind me of that, but I know. I know. Okay, who are we going to play Let's do Marina, I guess. Marina the mermaid. And yeah, I might maybe say a few words about cool. We'll do. Yeah, since it's gonna be kind of quiet here and there when the Stardew because we're gonna be fill up the silence a little bit by talking about my story here and there. Go too in depth, but I mean, I'll just like mention stuff that I already have up on Archive of Our Own because I have the first few chapters on Archive of Our Own. The story, by the way, is called Eleanor and the Everskippers of the Beyond Moor. First three chapters are up on Archive of Our Own. It's my original story, although it does include Oz and Wonderland. So it's technically a kind of fan fiction, but those are public domain works, so it's okay for me to use them in my own original story. And the story is about a girl from another world named Eleanor, who's kind of the main character, so to speak, but at the same time, I would say she's like a co-main character. I'd say that every world that she visits has another main character, and she's kind of one of them. That's why it's called Eleanor and the Everskippers of the Beyond Moor, because all of the other Everskippers are kind of the main characters in their own world, so to speak. And a little slow thinking while playing the game here. Yeah, in Eleanor's world, she's what would be considered a type of royalty. But things are very different on her world. You know, the customs and the culture is very different from our world, so how things work there is they have two royals, and Eleanor is one of them. They are called the Kembra and the Lorelli, and Eleanor is the Kembra, which is loosely translated to our language, something along the lines of the provider of earthly matters, the ruler of earthly matters, like physical matters, yada yada. And the Lorelli is the protector and ruler of heavenly matters. She's more like she's in charge of law and religion and such, I suppose, and Eleanor's in charge of food distribution and the military, keeping her people safe, yada yada. And it's an inherited position their family has been passing down for a while. Already dealt with him in the other games. I just gotta speed through it. But, yeah. And Eleanor's family, like once upon a time, they were kind of good guys, but definitely changed over a period of time, and current royalty is just kind of taking over and not really giving a crap about a lot of people in their world because they have their own kind of prejudice there. On Eleanor's world, there is a humanoid, two humanoid races actually. Eleanor and her sister are actually a hybrid of those two. There's the Bradine, and which is the Bradine is like a predator type. They're much bigger humanoids, more muscly, more tall in general, and then the other type, the Pharaon, they're more, not exactly prey type, but I guess that would be the other way of saying it, but they're more agile, they're a little bit smaller, but they're much quicker. So Eleanor takes more after the Brodin side in her family, and her sister Lorelei takes more after the Pharaon side. And so hold on, I think one of my dogs is not being good right now. Hey! What are you doing? Truffle! Get out of there, Truffle! Being a bad boy! Oh my. Sweetie. Truffle's favorite thing to do is himself into spots he shouldn't somehow when I swear. Tell him he can't do something and crazy dog. Waffle, you still being a bad boy over there? Yes, in Eleanor's world, besides the two humanoid races, it's also a lot like, the closest comparison would be the anime Beastars, where it's got all those different humanoid, animal-like creatures, where they've got the animals' heads, but they've got walking humanoid-like bodies. So in Eleanor's world, they've got all kinds of animal people, but there also are the more humanoid types. And Eleanor's father, the story kind of starts where Eleanor is kind of saying goodbye to her one true love, which is Leah Joel, who is a lionhead. And they've kind of known for a while they can't be together, so they're saying goodbye to each other. Because the next day is to be Eleanor's coronation. And Eleanor's father comes to her that night before dawn, and he tells her that very abruptly, oh, by the way, you actually have a secret brother you've never known. He's basically the spare to your heir. You were just lucky being born first. And this brother of yours, just because he was born second, he's always been hidden away, his existence never acknowledged. And basically, once you inherit your position as the Kembra, you're just expected to off him, just to do away with him, because there's no point in him even being around after that, as far as her father is concerned anyways. But Eleanor is rightfully horrified to learn about this. And so she's thinking to herself, okay, as soon as I've got control and as soon as I've got the power... Oh, hello, and S175! Didn't catch my fish, that's okay. I'm yapping a bit about my story. Yeah, and Eleanor thinks to herself, as soon as I've got the power, then I'll, instead of doing what my father expects me to, I'm going to get my brother, who is named Notarius, by the way, to safety, and we're gonna be the brother and sister we never got to be. That's what she's very naively hoping, at least. But it turns out, the very next day, on her coronation, and Lorelai's coronation as well, this sudden magical maelstrom occurs, like, right after they're supposed to be, well, it's not crowned, because they don't have a royal crown in their world. Instead, they have a royal collar. They were given the royal collar, and just right after that, this magical maelstrom starts sucking people left and right into the sky, into this giant, like, tornado-like thing that's up in the sky. And Eleanor is also sucked away with all these people, as well as Leah Joel, but Lorelai is left behind. Although she is hurt in the process, Lorelai ends up getting a broken bone in the process. Eleanor and Leah Joel and many, many other people, though, both the humanoid race that Eleanor belongs to, as well as various beast-type races, they're jettisoned into the next world. Hold on, I gotta focus on this son of a this vicious slippery. Got him. So yeah, they're sent to another world, and it's pretty crazy from there. I'll take a break there and get a drink of water before I go on. Thank you, Animus. Try our best. Let me go check on my dinner real quick, too. chicken burritos tonight. I got some chicken stew and some red sauce. Yeah, and then Eleanor and Leopold are sent to another world where he meets another character. I call him Crud. At least that's his initial name. It's not his real name because Crud was actually originally from another world himself, and he came to this world as a baby. And he leads Eleanor and Leopold to the natives of this world. And the woman who raised Crud since he was a baby, since he showed up in this world, she's called Danny, and she calls herself a seer. And she explains to Eleanor that she and Crud are what are called Everskippers, or at least that's what I call it. It probably has all kinds of other different words in different people's languages. I guess that was what you would consider the English word for it, but in any case, since I'm the one writing the story in English, then that's what I'm gonna call it. But oh, I'm energy, so I guess I should take things a bit forward. And so what an Everskipper and what a seer are. An Everskipper is someone, a very, very rare person. There's only one, or at the very most two, per world, who is able to travel to other worlds, basically by will. There are other ways that someone might be sent to another world, but they can't go back. Basically, the difference is all those other people from Eleanor's world who were sent to the next world, they're trapped there. Eleanor is the only one that has the ability to keep moving forward into the next worlds. And a seer is someone who can in some way sense the other worlds, but they can't actually cross over without being stuck there. Like, they can maybe see the world in a dream, or sense the world in some other kind of... Hello, Penny. I like Penny. Sense the world in some other kind of way. But I'm distracted by the dogs. Jump on me. Hello. Okay, yes, I see you. I love you. And basically, the Everskippers are kind of supposed to keep an eye out for seers because they usually have good advice for them. And so Danny, the seer in this world, tells Eleanor that she needs to keep going, and she'll eventually find the way back to her world. Basically, Arius has kind of locked her out of one way into her world, but she can still find another way into her world by going through all the other worlds that are connected to hers. And if she doesn't hurry to do this, because time can be very fluctuating, if you're not quick enough, there can be like some kind of time, I don't know, burp, whatever you want to call it, and your world might skip several to even maybe even 100 years into the future, if you don't get back to it soon enough. It's not a book yet. I'm still writing it, but the first 3 chapters are on Archive of Our Own. I've been working on the 4th for a little bit longer than I'd like to admit, because it's just been real chaotic in my life lately. My mother died not long ago. Well, not too it was late 2024, but it's just been really chaotic since there. I moved in with my boyfriend, and there's just been a lot. My daughter's been having a lot of challenges being used to this new move and getting used to living here when she was living in the old area for several years. So I've kind of had to put the story on the back burner for a while, but I've been trying to get back into it lately. So, and yeah, it's called Eleanor and the Everskippers of the Beyond Moor. The first 3 chapters are on Archive of Our Own. Thank you. It sucks, but yeah, it was unfortunately a sudden passing. I suppose I should keep an eye on this. But yeah, she unfortunately was hit by a drunk driver, so I am very much against people drinking and driving. Please don't do that. Anyone listening, for the love of God. Thank you, thank you. And, so yeah, I've been trying to get back into the story, and, but yeah, it took a lot to just getting over that myself, and then getting my daughter over a lot of stuff. It was just a big challenge. I'll just go ahead and let her go to bed. But I'm trying to get back to the story, trying to do more creative stuff instead of wallowing in pity, because I'm not gonna bring her back. And as much as I've been thinking a little too much about, wishing there was some way that karma could wish upon on the person that caused so much pain, but it's like it's just gonna take time out of my life. This idiot that should have gotten more karma than they did, and the police unfortunately really dropped the ball too, and yada yada. Long story short, I don't feel like my mom really got justice. The family didn't really get justice, but I'm trying to just focus. I've been in therapy for a while, so I'm trying to just focus on more positive things, because yeah, it won't change anything to wish those jerks could know the pain that they caused. Way back, but I don't know if I want to take that, but whatever. I don't know. But yeah, so Eleanor has to get back to her world in time before Tarius eventually kills her sister Lorelei. She'll be safe for like maybe, I don't know, I won't say exactly how many years, but if Eleanor isn't quick enough in getting back to her own world, that's what's gonna happen, is what Danny the Seer tells her. So, sorry as Eleanor feels for Tarius, she kind of realized he's also the enemy, so I gotta do what I gotta do when I get back there. And, also something I forgot to mention. Yeah, you're right, yeah, you're definitely right about that. Unfortunately, the person... The police are so crooked back where I live. The police are still crooked here, too, but, oh my god, it's just a real mess. General. The story is on Archive of Our Own, at least what I have written so far. It's called Eleanor and the Everskippers of the Beyond Moor. Let me do it. chat in chat too. Let me write it. Eleanor. First, there's the beyond more. On 3 are 5. Okay. Put in the chat, that's the name of it, and yeah, I've got 3 chapters up so far on Archive of Our Own, because it is technically a bit of a fan fiction. Eleanor goes to the worlds of Oz from Wizard of Oz, and also to Wonderland eventually. And she also makes a little stop by on our own planet Earth, too, except it's not exactly the same as our own planet. It's like a version of Earth, but it's like an alternate version of Earth kind of thing. Thank you. I hope you like it. I'm not maybe not the best writer, but I've got a story in my heart, and I'm just trying to get it out there. And yeah, so the thing I forgot to mention. Maybe I'll go with Mines. I think she needs some. Yeah, some stuff to. Let me check my stuff real quick. Yeah, I need 1 more copper to make the furnace, so I guess I'll go to Mines. Alrighty. So the thing I forgot to mention, Eleanor was also visited by her aunt, Laurellis, before her coronation. And her father was the previous Pembra, and her aunt, Laurellis, was the previous Lorelli. And her aunt Laurellis gives her what she initially claims is just a replica of a ancient sacred object, which I'm calling the Gilded Hammer. And Laurellis also... I already have... Yeah, I can go down to 5. Laurellis had also given what's called the Gilded Cleaver to Tarius. She knew about Tarius's existence. She was one of the few people that did. And she felt bad for him, so she wanted to basically, do something for him that was, like, equal to what she was doing for Eleanor. And she also figured that this object could protect him. Laurellis already knew Eleanor wasn't going to kill him, but she thought that it was a chance that she might at least banish him to protect her reign or whatever. So she gave Tarius the Gilded Cleaver. But unfortunately, Tarius used this, and also he kind of had help from a powerful demon kind of thing, like a demon god, to cause what was that giant, that giant storm in the sky that took all of the Eleanor's people and Eleanor to the next world. He was the one that caused that. And unfortunately, after Eleanor is gone and Lorelei rather, is left injured, nobody can really stop him from taking over after that, because he's kind of got his own army he's built of people, animal heads that did not like Eleanor's family. And jeez, where the heck is this? Did I miss this ladder already? There it is. Anyways, he had his own little army of animal heads that did not like Eleanor's people, and in addition to that, he kind of targeted any of the animal heads that were loyal to Eleanor and her family, and he sent them to the next world, so it left them very vulnerable. Thanks. I am writing. There is 3 chapters up on Archive of Our Own, at least, and I am working on the 4th one. The 4th chapter has just been really tricky for me lately. Trying to get some advice on that one. Oh boy, this doesn't look good. Oh boy, I have to lock down to get off of this level. Die, slime! Even through levels. Dang. Ready. I'm getting up on. Don't die. You shall not pass. Okay. Where? Oh my god. No, you know what? I'm out of here. Not today. Not today, Satan. Not today, slime Satan. I will take what is left of my energy and just do some fishing. Thank you very much. That should be enough. Copper. Pretty sure. Whew, that was getting kind of... Anyways. Get another drink of water and I'll continue yapping in a minute. Grab me juice or something. Chubby. Hold on, I'm gonna mess it. Give me a juice pouch. That's a little better. So yeah, Lorelai is temporarily safe with Tarius, though, because he initially doesn't want to kill her. Oh, well, I guess my inventory's full. Never mind. Anyways, he initially doesn't want to kill her because Tarius has been kept alone for so long, and his only companion throughout the years has been Laurellis. And when he took over the castle, he killed Laurellis, and he's full of grief over that, deep down. And he kind of tries to replace Laurellis with Lorelai. Lorelai, she's, like, basically playing the, survival mode game, I guess you'd call it, I don't know. She does not like Tarius whatsoever, but she kind of tries to keep on friendly terms with him because, well, yeah, she can kind of tell that he's got, like, some shady eating as much as he wants to play, like, let's be friends, let's be brother and sister, you know? She got that, she's got the creeps from him, just saying. He's not trying to do anything super creepy, like, anything that would be illegal in our world, let's just say, but he does want to control... Mimi! He's going crazy over here. Mimi, settle down. He does want to control her, though. They're supposed to... The Kembra and the Lorelli are supposed to be equals, and they're supposed to consult each other and listen to each other, which is what Eleanor and her sister would have done, but instead, Tarius very much wants to be in total control. And it's also because he doesn't really believe in the power of the Lorelli. The power is supposed Lorelli is supposed to be, like, connected to the gods. And Tarius doesn't believe in that. He doesn't really think Lorelei has that kind of power because Lorelis never really had that kind of power until right before Tarius killed her, actually. Yeah, I have 3 weenies. I got 2 regular weenies and a Chewini. And it's hard to tell which one's the craziest sometimes. I think I'm still working at the bamboo rock. Update Marina's rod. Oh jeez, I forgot my I guess I don't need this. I'm so distracted, I don't... Oh, let's just take this now. Thank you very much. I'm trying, and there's a lot more. There's been a lot of stuff in my head over the years that I've been trying to, like, put in the right order and such. It's a pretty big story. It's it's literally several worlds worth of lore. You have to world build for one world usually, but this story I had to world build for like at least a dozen. All that. What are we doing with that? All that. Good. Oh, later. Okay. And... okay. Get this girl a furnace. Wait, what? No, wait. Oh, 20. Oh. There we go. Nice. Now where to put this? Whatever. Let's get more iron. No, iron. Copper. Okay. I think there's one more fish for today. Yes, I really love fantasy too. I'd classify it as something of a portal fiction. Some people might maybe call it something like an isekai. It's not exactly like an isekai. I think portal fiction is closer, but yeah, just other worlds. I've always loved fantasy. Take me away, right? That's actually kind of a plotline in and of itself in the story when Eleanor shows up on Earth. The Ever-Skipper of Earth very much wants to get the heck away from Earth, which I think we can all understand that without even knowing her backstory yet. So yeah, oops, this fish is trying to pull a fast one on me. Gotcha. How a button, I said no. Fuck. Seaweed, one more. I'm always exhausted, I can handle it. Okay, so Eleanor, when she finds out about this from Danny the Seer, she of course realizes, even though it's my duty to help these people, I've got to save my sister. And so she leaves for the next world, and Leojoel, which is the character I mentioned from the very beginning that she is in love with, the Lionhead that is her secret lover, he's like, once she's fully apart from him, he realizes, you know what, I'm a liar if I say I can live without this girl. I can't. As at least before, when I was quote-unquote saying goodbye to her, at least I knew that we would still be in the same world together. Even if she went off and married somebody else because yada yada royal duty, I would still be by her side as her loyal knight and be there to protect her. But when she's gone into another world completely, he realizes, no, I can't just say goodbye to her if it's really a goodbye for good. So he takes like a leap of faith and goes into the next world after her. And it turns out Leojoel actually is the other Ever-Skipper of Eleanor's world as well. But the gods of Eleanor's world have had a bias against all of the gods in this world are humanoid types, and they have a bias for the humanoids, and they don't want the beast heads to ascend. And so when Leojoel tries to follow after Eleanor, he's stopped by a kind of a demon god. This is the demon god that helped Tarius create the Maelstrom. And this demon god isn't actually originally from his world. Excuse me, let me get another drink. So this demon god is called Ban Mammon, and he's actually the son of Mammon, which is the god of greed from Earth. But the god of greed is so greedy, he won't even share with his own son. He's like, get out of here or I'll eat you, little piss ant. So Ban Mammon, and gods, by the way, can travel through different worlds. It's only, the Ever-Skipper is the only mortal that can do so, but gods can do so willy-nilly. The only problem is, if a god goes to another world, there's likely going to be gods that are already established there that are going to be jealous and they'll fight you if you try to take over. So when Ban Mammon goes to Eleanor's world, he, I don't know how much is real, but basically he gets a very powerful person to help him to swallow all of the pantheon of Eleanor's gods. And when excuse me, when Leojoel tries to follow after Eleanor, I probably totally forgot about that. so one by one, Van Mammon starts regurgitating what is basically the zombified remains of Leojold's gods at him. And Leojold would definitely be screwed if not for the fact that Sekhmet from our world, that is the lion-headed goddess from Egyptian mythology, she shows up kind of last minute, and she's all like, hey, I think this is crap that, you know, this is an uneven fight, first of all. And also, I think it's crap that this world has only ever had representation for humanoid gods, basically. And she says to Leojold, if you take me to your world, I'll help you, lend you the power, and you make me a god in your world, and I'll make things more equal for your people. And so Leojold agrees to this, and she gives him the power to defeat the first god that he goes up against, which is Vestina, the goddess of Earth, and she's kind of like basically their equivalent of Hestia. And Leojold doesn't really have to fight her that hardcore. The first few fights I have between Leojold and the gods, he kind of cheeses it, not gonna lie, but it definitely gets harder as he goes along. But yeah, the first one, Hestia, she's not the fighting type anyway, so she basically begs for a mercy killing. And nice, a book. I love a book. I'm writing a book. So where was I? I totally forgot what the heck I was saying for a second there. Get distracted so easy. The book sailor. But yeah, after Leojold manages to fight off the first god, he follows Eleanor into the third world, which is the land of Oz. Unfortunately, Leojold, just by being like a few minutes or so behind Eleanor when she traveled into the next world, he's ended up being a few days behind her. And so Eleanor has already been traveling in Oz for a while, and he, yeah, a little late to the party. Oh, another lost book. So when Eleanor got to Oz, they basically told her, hey, we've been looking out for travelers from other worlds, or I should have enough to get the game. Let me get this real quick. Crap, bamboo pole. Arena deserves better than that. Thank you. I really hope you enjoy it when you get around to it. It is a bit of a work in progress. I'm doing my best, but for the most part, what's written is what it is. Although I might maybe change just a teeny little thing or something down the road, but for the most part, I'm trying my best. And so Eleanor and Crud, they are told to make their way to Emerald City to find Queen Ozma, that she'll be the one to know how to get them to the next world. And she's the expert on magic around here, so she'd be the one to where they initially land is in the Munchkin territory, so the Munchkins are all like, yeah, you should go to Emerald City. All the other grid, all that. And so Eleanor and Crud do that, and along the road, they get attacked by Kalidas, not really sure how you pronounce that, but in any case, Eleanor manages to save Crud by using the Gilded Hammer. This is a scene where she kind of realizes that this Gilded Hammer isn't just a fancy, shiny hammer that actually has some pretty crazy magical powers. But she's also wounded in the battle, too, because these Kalidas, they're like basically bears with the head of tigers, I think is what they're supposed to be. So, yeah, they're pretty gnarly creatures, and there was like at least 2 or 3 of them that Eleanor was up against, so she did get herself scratched up a bit. And when she and Crud were traveling through the poppy fields to get to the Emerald City, because of her wounds, especially, Eleanor ended up succumbing to the toxins of the red poppies, and Crud did not do so as fast, though, because Crud, there's a whole bunch of stuff I forgot to mention about Crud. But in this scene, it's revealed that Crud has, like, a natural immunity to poison and toxin in general. Nice, I'm getting a whole bunch of tree jelly. Because also a good amount. And also another thing about Crud is that when Eleanor first met him, it was revealed that he has the ability to learn languages as soon as he hears them. He basically assimilates languages. As soon as he hears the word, he knows what it means. And so that's going to be pretty useful for both him and Eleanor on the journey, not gonna lie. It kind of bugs me in certain other world stories where with every world they go to, they all speak the same language, and I get why to an extent, obviously, but in Eleanor's case, there are gonna be times where she has to, like, learn a language if Crud isn't around, or even then, there's some times where Crud, his ability to help her may be compromised for this reason or another. So he's not, like, always, like, a get-out-of-jail-free with not knowing or not understanding people who don't have the same language, but it's just to help out in certain situations. But yeah, so Crud manages to get to the Emerald City and get people to help Eleanor, who fell asleep in the poppy field. Anyways, but yeah, so Crud gets some help in Emerald City. They get Eleanor to safety. And while Eleanor is passed out, she kind of has this crazy dream about Dorothy splitting into 2. And when she wakes up, she encounters but she meets Ozma, who goes on to explain that Dorothy. Yes. Eleanor has her own language. Oz has basically their language is very similar to. So the way I describe it is there are some worlds that are connected to each other, and Oz is what I would call the sister world to Earth. So there's a lot about Earth and Oz that they have in common with each other. And also there are things that I called mirror worlds. Wonderland is the mirror world to Earth. Basically, the difference is that sister worlds are two physical worlds that are connected to each other, whereas mirror world is kind of like a spiritual world that is connected to another physical world, if that makes any sense. So, when Eleanor gets to Oz, Bud initially helps her with translation, and then Ozma teaches her some of the language too when she meets her. And by the time she goes to the next world, which is Earth, she has like a basic understanding of the language at least, or the language of English at least. So, Ozma goes on to explain to Eleanor that Dorothy is much beloved in their world after all of her adventures. And Ozma had basically had a means of communication with Dorothy for several years. They had like a communication device. Okay. But a few years ago, the communication device went blank. It went dark, and I'll come back for it later. Maybe I'll. Never mind. I need this. Come on. Wait. I need it. It might be too late for it. Let's see if I can donate some stuff real quick. But yeah, so Ozma. Oh no. Well, this is 6. Anyways. So Ozma tells Eleanor that she hasn't been able to contact Dorothy in a few years, and she's really worried about her. And also the reason why they can't just send the Everskipper from Oz is because the Everskipper of Oz is the Patchwork Girl. And being basically a doll in... I guess I'm going to have to explain a whole other thing. Okay. So... another drink. Okay, so another thing that I have to explain is that each world has what I would call their own magic level. I just gotta donate one of those. And in Oz, the magic level is much higher than it is on Earth. In Oz, the magic level is at around 30%, let's say, and on Earth, it's more like 5% tops, and that's like in the really magical areas. And so, if the Patchwork Girl were to go to Earth, even though she can, it would be basically she's incompatible with life there. She would turn into an inanimate doll because there's not enough magic in that world to sustain her existence. And so, as much she would have liked to go check in on Dorothy, she wasn't able to. And so they ask Eleanor to go to Earth and check in on Dorothy instead. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I got some good fish today. So, what was I saying? But yeah, so Eleanor has to go check on Dorothy for them, and can't go too much further into it. As dinner's ready, I gotta get dinner for everybody, so I'm gonna end the stream after this day. But basically, just to kind of wrap it up, it's that when Eleanor gets to Earth, she slowly starts to realize that she goes around saying that she's looking for Dorothy in Kansas, and people are like, "Girl, what are you talking about? Wizard of Oz? Like, are you five?" Because when Eleanor comes to Earth, she slowly realizes that it's actually 2026. It's actually over 100 years since the time period that Ozma thought it was. Dorothy was alive around 1900, so it's literally been over 100 years, and yeah, there's a whole bunch more plot to go forward with that, but that's kind of already revealing a little bit of chapter 4 that I haven't yet posted technically. So, anyways, though, yeah, I've got to go get dinner ready for everybody since dinner's ready. So I gotta get off now, but I will play some more Stardew another day, and we will hang out. And thank you very much to everybody who hung out today. I've had a lot of fun chatting it up and yakking with you guys. All right, everybody, have a good night.